we don't know all the context behind it, but we do know one person's story, and we know backlash that has occurred. So we're talking about a man who won your sleeper matchup, Cody Durden. He got a big win against Aoriqileng, excuse me. He moved to 1-1-1 in his career. You know, he had a draw and a loss, so actually he had 2 fights prior to this one. First one of the UFC career, like I said, man, he was a minus 150 favorite. However, my man, let me pull this one up. Got to pull up a little heat. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit bigger real quick, okay? So there's a couple of tweets from some fighters who have been just talking about something that Cody Durden said at the end of his fight. And he basically said, you know, he was trying to cut like a little promo, you know what I mean? Trying to get a little hype. Follow me on Instagram, all that good stuff. He was like, yeah, I had to send that dude back to China, where he's from. And like people were like, yo, bro, what the fuck? Like, no, chill. Racist, motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Like they went on that hype. I'm not going to lie, man. This is you talking to, we got 2 brown folks right here, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie. I didn't take it as that. I looked at it as this man was more just in the moment, cutting his promo. I didn't see like a I have hate towards you and your people. It was more like, you know, whatever. If this dude was from Greece, send his ass back to Greece, where he's from. Like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So what do we have? We have a couple people. We have a man in Mohammed Mokayev, right? He says, I don't like Cody Durden's racist comment in his interview. Should I smash this guy for my UFC debut? Casey O'Neill says, fuck Cody Durden. Racism is never cool. POS, a.k.a. piece of shit. Jamal Hill says, wow, way to shit on your own performance. Shake my head. Way to comfort, say that ignorant shit. Oh, way too comfortable to say that ignorant shit, which is, I mean, listen, man. Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill, you know, shout out. Julian Marquez says, well, that dude's a cunt. And then we have Brandon Royval, man. You know, he says, if Durden is at the UFC event, who's blowing Kyle Rittenhouse? And listen, folks, we don't need to get into politics about that one, man. You know, that's a whole national story going on. But the point here, AJ, is that our man, or your man, or someone's man, neither of our man, but the sleeper, the man you chose, Cody Durden, caught a lot of flack behind that statement. So really quickly, my man, like I said, this is not a politics show. This has nothing to do with any of that. We don't need to get into that. We cover MMA, mixed martial arts, combat sports. This is what's going on in combat sports right now. As a fellow man who of ethnic background yourself, do you think there's a little bit of a reach here?
I think it's a little bit of a reach by them, Derek. He said, I'm going to send him back to China where he's from. But if that's the most racist comment you've ever heard, you have never dealt with racism in your entire life, man. When you have people calling you a spick, calling you, you know, the actual legitimate derogatory terms to your face, that's racism. They're treating you differently. You know, they have people who don't. There's a time in Wyoming where I didn't get served in a Subway, and my white friend next to me was freaking out. And I was like, yeah, man, you know. Okay. White people don't like brown people, I guess. I'm light skinned, bro. Like, I don't even know, man. It's shit out there happens all the time. And if he said it didn't feel like to me as racist as other people are making. I can see where they're coming from. Don't Absolutely. Get me wrong. I can see 100% where they're at. But lest we forget, right, what he said before. He cut an amazing promo about some other dude right before where he was talking shit. And the fact that his comments after are like, what's the word I'm looking for? When it just, Superseded. Thank you. Yeah. Superseded his promo that he cut shows how much impact it actually had. But I just think he was too tired and he forgot the second half of his comment that he was saying. Yeah. I think he was going the Chael Sonnen route where he could have said, I'm sending that man back to China, blah, blah, blah. And he would have had the remainder of that quote and it wouldn't have been as bad. But I think he was just a little tired. He forgot to say it. He even caught DC off his game. Even DC was like, I was looking up and he said that word and I was like, whoa. Yeah, it was an interesting night for sure. I didn't take it as racist as a lot of these other people are. I mean, good on them though for jumping in and saying like, hey man, that shit don't stand here. I'm cool with that as well.
Absolutely.
That's fine, especially if you want to make that your stand on beating this dude up in the future. Cool, word. Yeah, get it. I'm down.
So let's not forget, he called out Jeffrey Molina. You know, Jeff Molina. He was calling him out, saying El Jefe, whatever, said he's gonna put his nuts on the top of my head when he says sprawling on these takedowns. So you know, saying all that, and I do agree, man. I didn't even hear it. Like while I was listening to it, I kind of tuned it out, and I go on Twitter and everyone's reacting and shit. I was like, yo, what did I miss? So I had to replay it back, and then they had said it and all that. And then they had asked him about it, like, so you said some stuff, man. Did you see what's going on social media? Basically, folks, I do want to say this, man, for all the Asian homies out there, man. Listen, we know that there are all aspects of racism for all different ethnic groups that are out there, man. So there's no disrespect intended on our end right here. We just covering and all that, man. And I wanted to put this up because I do believe in due process, right? And I do believe in people's opportunity to have a second chance and to right their wrongs. And Cody Durden followed up with a tweet, and he says, listen, The guy was disrespectful. He's talking about Aoriqileng. He says, and he wouldn't shake my hand at the weigh-ins. After beating him, I simply meant he can go home wherever that may have been. I apologize if I offended anyone. That certainly was not my intention. I love you all. See you at the top at the UFC. So here, AJ, I mean, you do the responsible, accountable thing as an adult, and you say, okay, that came off wrong. My fault. You know what I'm saying? This is really more what I have meant. And then you have to take it. It's up to their character to then determine whether you believe them or not. But I will say this, man. Some people did some dirty stuff, bro. And they dug up some old tweets of his. And it didn't look good. But then I'll tell you this much, AJ. In 2013, 2012, wherever, all 10 years ago, I had some tweets that didn't look good. I'm sure everybody else did too, because you live, you grow, all that good stuff, man. But right here, my man, and we're not the morality police. Like I said, we'll move on after this, but this is a hot topic. Is this enough for you to say, okay, well, you did the grown-up thing, man. You apologize, all that good stuff. Cool, we're good. Wipe our hands with it. Let's move on. Is this enough for you?
It's very, very close to enough. I'm a big fan of taking full responsibility of the actions that you have put out there in the world. I think that's what separates a lot of us in this world from thinking I'm the controller of my life to other people are doing this. And just I like what he did. I like that he's taken, saying I apologize if I offended anyone. Certainly not my intention. I just wish he would have said, instead of making it about, listen, this guy was disrespectful. It almost sounds like an excuse he's making right off the bat for him being quote unquote racist, as racist as you want to put it. So it's like a half-ass excuse, half-ass apology. I'm okay with it because I didn't find it as racist as a lot of other people did.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're in the business of mean, and he's going to have to answer for those for those words he said before. So I hope they put a Chinese man against him again, and he doesn't do the exact same thing, but he gets cosmic justice, over there going forward, man.
Absolutely, man, and that's when you get a dude like a Tim Elliott or something who then goes and you remember his fight against Jordan Espinosa where he was all like, "Oh, so you choked a girl in 2018? What's up, bro?" He's like whooping his ass while he's just talking shit. He's all like, "You don't know the full story." He's like, "I know enough," and dropping elbows on his head, So maybe we need something like that, man. This is the fight game, so whatever comments you make, you got to pay for them next time you go into the cage. I will just say this: the man did put a target on himself from his colleagues there at the UFC. Either way, man, yes, I agree. The first part of this, you didn't have to say he was disrespectful, all that, because you kind of just canceled out. It's like a double negative. Like you canceled out, your shit right there. Either way, in my mind, AJ, as a man who says, like, listen, man, let's not take things so seriously and all that, even though this is a serious issue, I'm cool, man. I don't give a fuck. I'm sitting here and saying let's leave the fighting in the ring and all that and all this politics and shit. Keep that shit out of there. But either way, I felt it was important to hit this because this was a hot topic in the MMA Newswire and whatnot. And then lastly on this, AJ, before we move on, I will just say there is no room for racism in this game or whatnot, AJ. But lest we forget, our man Colby Covington, right? He said some pretty foul personal shit to Kamaru Usman and nobody blinked a goddamn eye. So for someone to say something like kind of as vague as this and for it to blow up, I'm just like, okay. But that's neither here nor there. We'll leave it. Wipe our hands with it. We're done.